What's happening, guys? Yeah, welcome to a new chapter of your life and my life as well. My name is Beewol. We are doing a brand new thing. We're calling this the neutral zone, right? The neutral zone is going to be that place where we talk about everything inside and outside of sport. Myself and these very wonderful people who will introduce themselves briefly and shortly will be giving you some banter. I want to call it conversation, right? About what's happening in sport, some of the forgotten stories, some of the ignored stories, and every now and again we shall be getting into fairly controversial stories. But it's all with love, and I must start by saying that on me, as you can see, is a jersey for the Gazelles. As we speak right now, the Junior Gazelles are in South Africa. They are in the semi-final of AfroBasket, and they're doing brilliant things. At the time of recording this podcast, we are 2 hours away from the game against Nigeria, and I wore this, to kind of support them, because immediately after this, I will go and watch them. I have on me a couple of bangles, some sexy bangles from a few women who are my friends. On my right hand, I've got a watch, a T-shirt. It's affordable. And I've got some very lovely jeans. Happy socks. I hope the camera can't see my socks. And some shoes I got for my birthday. When I was turning 54. I have on me a couple of awesome things, but I have with me a very wonderful group of guys and lady. I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves first with the lady, but I must warn you, this podcast is going to be predominantly in English, right? So for the speakers and the listeners, that's the language we shall use.
We can chip in.
Yeah, you can chip in a bit of Ateso, a bit of Luganda, a bit of Runyakitara, but it's going to be predominantly English. Also, it's going to be a very family-friendly podcast, so perhaps there will be no swearing. And lastly, you might see a few liquids here and there. Because we need to quench our thirst as we speak, right? Right. I will now let the ball go to this lady right next to me to explain to us what she looks like and why she looks like that.
Thank you, Beewol. My name is Sandra, AJ Sandra.
AJ Sandra.
Yes, or Ajalo, but I'm guessing a lot of you may not get that. Yeah, so AJ Sandra, a Liverpool fan. I think everyone who knows me knows that.
Oh my God, sorry.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm wearing this Liverpool jersey.
Obviously, yeah.
And you know why? Because it's the title-winning jersey.
You do have to go there.
I know the COVID title, yeah.
Whatever, it's still a title.
Okay,
and a leather jacket, I guess, because I know it's hot, but I'm cool.
But you're also hot, yeah?
No, I'm cool and I'm
cool.
hot.
Oh, you're cool.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to be
nice.
hot.
Thank you, Beewol. My name is Paul, but I trade by Honorable Oworugambo.
Honorable Oworugambo.
Please always remember to add the honorable part. It is very important. On me, I'm wearing a Jordan cape. This is one of a kind. I've had it for some time, but I was looking for an opportune moment to actually show it to the world.
To launch it.
And what better opportunity than this?
It looks expensive. It does look expensive.
It is, but for the sake of the people viewing, and
don't
actually
want
the
to
people
scare
on the panel here,
You
I don't want to be scaring.
Yeah.
So
You don't tell us how
I'll
much.
conceal
That's
the
okay.
price or
That's
wherever
okay.
it came from.
Yeah.
And most importantly on what I'm wearing a Stanbic Black Pirates jersey. This is in celebration of us topping the Rugby Sevens table. That should hurt, but it is the truth. Also, in preparation for Saturday's games in the Chabazinga Sevens, where we'll be playing tomorrow.
Okay.
The rest, I don't want to go fancy.
All right.
I don't want to go fancy. I'll just let it pass on to the next guy. But thank you for joining, and please keep watching us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this guy is expensive.
He is. He really
He
is.
didn't even say the cost of the cape. Anyway, my name is Dexta DJ for clearly branding out myself. I'm a sports lover, sports fan. I'm putting on something from Egypt, Alexandria.
I think you're the first person I've ever seen in Uganda
Yeah.
wearing that jersey.
We are two because the other one is a player. So we are two.
Well played.
Don't miss that out. This is a jersey of a team that's older enough.
Yeah, it's been around.
It's been around.
Tell us when it was established.
14 years after Uganda signed that 1904
So 1914.
Yeah,
1914.
yeah.
Wow.
So it's something prestigious.
Is that why the jersey also doesn't look new?
No, it has.
Okay.
It has
No, that's
been
fine.
into activity.
All right.
It has been into activity.
All right.
It has been into activity.
All right.
Anyway,
All right.
I got it from one player called Gavin Chizito.
If you could show us, yes. If there you go. Yeah.
That is a guy. He's a
Who once played for Sports Club Villa?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the record.
Yes, that record needs to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. But
So
sorry.
as I continue, I'm putting on some expensive.
Oh, yes.
something I have that is more expensive than the cape of this guy.
Really?
Why are shots being fired now?
Apple
It's
Series
okay.
9. That is my thing. So anyway,
Yeah.
we can move on.
Fantastic. As you can see, it's a not so cheap group of guys, and obviously, if there's any sponsors out there who are looking to partner with the show, our standards are high, right? So our managers will have the conversation with you, but we just wanted to set the pace. And as I said, everybody is sipping on something just to kind of quench our thirst and make sure that our voices are smooth, right?
It's not what they think.
Yeah,
it just looks like.
There's a lot of things we have to talk about, but before we even venture into these things, I want to start by asking you guys, how was your week, right? I want to start with Paul. How was this last week of yours? Like in a minute or two, how has it been for you?
The last week has been very interesting. Speaking about sports and even outside of sports, it's been a quite packed week.
Yeah.
But if I have to single out a moment that was very exciting for me, it was on Tuesday when Cameroon played against Zimbabwe at the Mandela National Stadium, Nambole.
Yeah.
I was shocked and excited to see how much Ugandans love football.
Absolutely.
You don't have the Uganda Cranes playing.
Nope.
You don't have any Ugandan player. Imagine if it was another club from another country and they have a Ugandan player, you'd understand. But this is Cameroon, this is Zimbabwe, total aliens to Uganda, but the stadium was full. I mean, there was even stampede at the gate because people they don't want to miss a moment of that game. It was very interesting. It showed us how much Ugandans love this sport, how much Ugandans love football.
Yeah, but also as a United fan, I will also mention that Onana is. We've had bad times with him in the recent past.
Of course, even the previous game.
But I felt like the love that United fans showed Onana on that day was tremendous. And for me, these are the things that make me love sport. Things like those, right? That we forget the pain and the sadness and the losses, and there's certain
and all
things
of a sudden you become happy
feel,
again.
And for me that was a big deal. So watching Onana live,
it is
a bit of a big deal.
It is an opportunity you don't get every day.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is an opportunity you don't get every day.
Yeah, of course.
And personally, as a Manchester United fan, it was a good moment. I loved it. And it was so personal for Ugandans that even if the ball hit another player's leg and Onana just caught it, there was applause.
Pandemonium.
There was
you people
applause.
we are literally in Old Trafford of sorts.
Yeah. So AJ, right? How was your last week?
Apart from being jealous,
Obviously.
that
Jealous.
Onana, as you say, it got that kind of welcome. Because I remember when Salah came, people were like, Salah is coming, but
that's how we know it.
we're going to show him what you
There was even a
guys
bit of beef.
Exactly, but the type of welcome Onana got, and I guess it's because Manchester United is like one of the biggest clubs in the world, and
one of
one
the
of
biggest club in the world.
no chance.
The most followed.
Where are we
The most
moving around?
followed.
Yes, the biggest club in the world, but go on.
Yeah. So I understand that, like a player that plays for Manchester United, just not any ordinary player.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's it. That's why I was jealous. I was like,
that was a
okay,
highlight for you.
we didn't do this much for the Egyptian king, but
the Egyptian king.
I know.
Dexta, Tell us your past 7 days.
My past in the past 7 days anyway. I was in Gulu for of course the Heathens on that one.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulate them. That is my team. So
Seriously, you have to rub this in your face.
I should be beefing him right now. But again, I don't think they are getting any happiness tomorrow.
Okay. The Chavazinga 7.
Oh, the other thing was that Jude Semugabi goal.
Oh yes.
Other cranes.
Oh, yes.
My
that
God.
was
Fantastic. Fantastic.
I know.
From the build up to the finish, very fantastic. That's how it was.
Well, for me, again, it's the Gazelles. They're doing very many awesome things. And as I mentioned, at the time of recording this, we shall be playing the semi-final against Nigeria. For me, that's where my heart has been this entire week. But outside of that, I will also mention that the other thing that kind of, sticks out for me was the Cranes have a new jersey.
Yeah.
And we were talking about why is everybody why those
no let us go.
We were talking about jerseys, right?
Yeah.
And it can universally be agreed that one of the important things in any sport is the jersey, right? It can make or break how people perceive you.
Yeah.
The look of the jersey and then the quality of the jersey. Which is why I want to ask you guys your thoughts on the current Cranes jersey. I will start with you, Sandra. First of all, have you seen it?
Yeah, I have seen it.
What do you think? Have you bought it?
No, I haven't. And I don't think I'm going to buy it.
What? Why?
For me, it just looks... Have you ever cooked food and then it's missing salt?
So there is something missing, literally.
There is
exactly.
There's just something missing. And I can't quite... It's not an ugly jersey. I'm not going to say it's ugly. But it's not the kind of jersey you look at and be like, oh yeah, I know how I'd style that. I know I'll wear that. It just doesn't stand out for me.
Doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
Dexta, you've been in the business. You've dealt with very many clubs.
Yeah.
And you've seen varying qualities, good, bad, poor, whatever.
Yeah.
What's your take on the current Cranes?
One, I want to applaud FUFA for trying to build Uganda and, buy Uganda and build Uganda and all that. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that that's what we are on, building a sport.
I feel like there's a bat coming.
Going forward. But yes. Now, as this is professionalism, as a graphics designer, someone who designs these things, you can't tell me on the pool of Ugandans we have in the country who do graphics and can design those jerseys, you're going to do for us some in art we used to call it tie and dye. So and I'm not this is professionalism.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not personal. Yeah. I'm just giving my mind. For someone to get that jersey and okay, the quality also. Yeah. I wanted to go further. I remember the quality. Starting with that 30K. Yeah. The first one, the second one, they have three thingies. It doesn't cut it.
Paul, you work with brands a lot.
I
do. You work with brands a lot, and you're always in the space where you're dealing with clients. You suggest something, and the client tells you, "I'm not feeling it. Add something." Do you think this conversation happened that side?
First of all, I want to applaud FUFA for thinking.
Why is everybody applauding?
No.
That is what you've been paid.
No.
Producers, guys have been paid by FUFA.
I want to applaud FUFA for thinking of giving business to Ugandans, because previously we have had Uganda Cranes jerseys being, or even Uganda Premier League club jerseys being produced by companies outside of Uganda. So this is a move. This is a move to empower a Ugandan company. You have to give it to them, because otherwise we'll stay importing.
Absolutely.
However, there is a way. I think the company that produced that jersey is called Janzi. They had an opportunity to try it out with a smaller club. Starting the big league, starting the regionals, try it out.
Not even
the mistake was starting with the Uganda national team.
So that's the issue.
Maybe you FUFA, you want to start with the Uganda national team, fine. Start with the regional tours in Uganda. Don't start on the AFCON qualifier game. This is an international stage.
Yeah.
And you're giving us a jersey that is receiving backlash the first day it gets
on a big
launched.
game, and can I chip in there? The way they actually brought it out, really, the marketing. Okay,
Yeah,
I know
the
that.
launch of the jersey.
I know that the communications guy at FIFA, but I know he's going to attack me on this one. But clearly,
No, yeah.
for any, even the smallest club in Sotilo Bright Stars did some good video unveiling their jersey, and it was top notch. Now, for any organization, this is a federation sponsored thing. I expect you to be much better. And you people can't just put out pics when you have a game tomorrow. This is our jersey. So what? Like,
Yeah.
you did that unveiling thing in somewhere. You had dummies. Why don't you bring the actual players? They are players who played for the national team.
Absolutely.
However much the players were in South Africa, but you still have the players who stayed there.
Yeah.
So why don't you bring them? They model in that jersey. That was also a negativity.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
maybe next time better.
What I noted also in the April that came up after the launch of that jersey is Ugandans, most of them that have been around,
Yes.
that have seen what the jerseys looked previously.
Yeah.
Of course, they were produced internationally.
Yeah.
That we'll have to agree.
Yeah.
Compared to the current jersey, that is where the problem came, because they are looking at the current one. This is a time when Nambole is looking very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, the jersey
Yeah.
should also do the same.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh,
that
okay.
comparison between
Fair enough,
what
yeah.
we've had in the previous times and what we have now, I think that is a bigger problem that is going around.
I think I noticed that very many Ugandans, kind of in, I want to say in defiance, showed up on the day wearing jerseys of old.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
If you notice
And
it.
I noticed it. Many of them were wearing,
Yeah.
older version jerseys. Some were wearing jerseys from the 95s. You know,
I saw a few of
I
them.
don't know if you guys remember, there was a jersey, and the person who comes to mind is Semogere. There was a jersey that we used to have as a cranes with the crane.
It had 3 cranes.
Yeah, 3 cranes. Yeah, that was a very. I
was
think
the best
that
jersey
quality
they've ever
of
produced.
jerseys.
Yeah.
We need to get back to that. One of the other things that I kind of understand from the FIFA point of view, and again, I'm not trying to explain mediocrity away, is that when you give people a quality jersey, they'll buy one for 5 years.
Yeah.
So somehow you want to get money out of them.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So you give them a substandard jersey so they complain.
So
buy
they can
another
come back
one,
tomorrow.
give them- I'm just trying to find reason as to why we got a subpar jersey, right? And for me, my thinking is once you buy the jersey, 2, 3, 4, 5 washes, it starts to fade.
Yeah,
You're like,
done.
I need to buy another one.
Yeah.
So for them, it makes financial sense. Yeah.
But for the consumer.
For the consumer, I mean, you're like, what is this? What's going on? And I mentioned this, as I said, because people were wearing jerseys from 15, 20, 25 years ago, and they still look pristine, right? And I'm thinking to myself, what is the value for FIFA here? So that's just...
I think
what
the message
thought.
has been sent.
Yeah.
I think the message has been sent from the reception the jersey received online
Yeah.
to the conversations offline.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting a chance to be talked about in the neutral zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The message has been sent to FIFA,
At least
and
they
I
get
am
the message,
sure
yeah.
they will do better.
Do better.
They'll
Yeah.
do better.
If we can get a jersey for the next header, that is South Sudan,
Yeah.
the next one in October. to
No,
be
but that's probably not going to happen. That's probably not gonna happen. But now that we mentioned that, I want us to slide into... I don't know if you guys have seen the new KCCA jersey
yeah.
or the Express jersey, which I think are both horrible. And this has nothing to do with the fact that I hate those teams, right?
But it could be felt.
No, I mean...
We could feel it.
In high school, there's a game we used to play. I don't know if you guys have ever played it. We used to call it Jiluyi.
That was not in high
You may
school.
or may not have heard of it.
I started it in class.
Yes, for purposes of context, for those who are watching, Jiluyi, loosely translated, is an egg and a slap.
Oh.
So
Okay.
when you
Okay, now I'm picking up.
Yeah, here the semantics. Here is how the game works. So you get together as guys and you play football. If anybody lays an egg, by laying an egg, the ball passes between your legs. You have got to run and touch a tree, ideally,
An agreed-
or something, or
an
an agreed kind of
We actually
place,
used
right?
to agree on women.
Yeah, an agreed kind of place that you must touch, right? Before touching that thing, you are slapped like they slap the hell out of you. So you
Who
played.
slaps you?
Everyone was playing.
Everyone was. Actually, they forget about the ball.
Yeah, so for me, for us,
They chase you.
for us in Ginger College, what used to happen is we used to play in the field, right, in the middle of the field. And the field was so huge, it used to cover about 3 different pitches at once. So we play in the middle. Now, there was a tree at the extreme end. If you lay an egg, you have to run and touch that tree. Now, what used to happen is there are guys who would camp at the tree
And be
Waiting for you.
and just wait. So you come running to the tree, and they warm up for you, right? But you must go through them to touch it.
So like, no.
Very, very
Like, there's no
high
winning.
game.
You have to receive slaps.
It was a bad game for our lives.
So first of
Very
all,
bad.
what that game it trained us many things. First of all, it trained us to be conscious of where your feet are. Like when you're playing the game, right? don't be nutmegged all the time. You see footballers getting nutmegged, the ball through the leg, keepers conceding goals through the leg.
Through the legs.
That should not happen. But then secondly, it trains you to be fast.
Oh,
Yeah.
to be
Because,
able to
yes,
run and touch the
to-
tree
because
before
the
you
trees are
receive.
safe. And then thirdly, to be smart how to negotiate. Because when you get to the tree and you're approaching the tree, you find guys waiting for you. They're like, no, the tree's here. You come
You
and
touch.
feel free. You come and touch the tree. But so in those few seconds, you can negotiate that. You know what? Tomorrow morning, I have 2 zombies for you at break time. You be kind to
That
me.
one chills.
That one first chills. This
I'll
one you
give
tell
you
him,
some juice.
hey, I'll arrange you something. This one you tell him, your uniform I know is dirty. You'll wear mine. Like you find some negotiation skills, right? The reason why I asked that is because it was a conversation that I was having, some friend of mine, and we were reminiscing, we're thinking about, high school and the
Yeah.
things we used to. Did you play any sport in high school? What sport did you play in high school? And how good were you?
I was average.
Did you play any sport?
Running?
Okay,
Used to run.
everybody runs.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a sport.
Everyone
It's a
is-
sport.
as a sport.
If
Hey, as a
breakdancing
sport.
is a sport, why
Yeah.
isn't running?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I played
so
sports.
you ran.
Yes.
Did you ever run for your like class, school, or
No, like inter-house
house? So did you ever
competition.
win?
I came third once.
Oh, close enough.
But that's
That's good enough. Paul, did you ever play in a sport in high school?
Yes.
And to what level?
I played.
And also no lies, please.
Absolutely. I played football. This Friday evening, you've come from class, and there's like a quadrangle somewhere where grass has gone off.
Yeah.
We used to call it Kalere.
Kalere.
And I was a senior of that.
Oh, really?
Correct.
it's a oh really.
How far did you go in your career as a footballer?
In my career as a Kalere player,
What's the farthest
As a
you've gone?
career player.
What's the farthest
can't
you've
be
gone in your
as
career?
as a
player.
Kalere player, I didn't get to represent either my class, but I was hard.
Yeah, I had
Oh.
to-
Find me on that dusty ground.
Yeah, that
I
was
was
your
hard.
area.
That was
Okay.
my area.
Dexter,
Yeah.
did you ever play any sport in high school?
Yeah, I've played many sports. I played volleyball, then played badminton,
Yeah.
tried football.
Fancy.
Number 9.
And so what ended your career as a footballer?
What ended was books, of course. Actually,
Books.
the books didn't end football or anything. It ended volleyball because I was
Oh, volleyball,
I was
yeah.
topping
Yeah.
and
You
trying
were like
to
a
get-
booster
yeah.
or like
now I was a setter.
yes. Yeah. Now I used to play volleyball so and I had some very good spikes because I had good spring P. I played basketball as well. I played table tennis, played football.
You still play basketball up to now?
I still do. I didn't want to mention this because I already have enough women, disturbing me and stuff.
If it's about women, about women, we can talk about other sports.
Yeah, but I see where you're going. One of the things I want you guys to kind of embrace is the fact that Uganda, as a society, as a community, we have a lot of opportunity. We
Yeah.
have certain talents that are innate to us that we have,
Yeah.
but we kind of either run away from or we shy from. And yet, if we embrace them, that kid in S2 who loves dancing, don't ridicule him. He could become a professional dancer and be in
And
the Olympics
represents
and
the
win us a
country,
gold
yeah.
medal.
Yeah.
So parents who have kids that are doing out of the box things, dancing and music and art and painting and all these things, embrace them, allow them to be who they are. You never know, they might win us some
Something
some
for
medals
as a country.
or make some money.
Yeah.
And speaking of making money, you guys all mentioned how everybody is looking expensive and things like that.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a very strange question, yeah? and I just thought of this now. What is the most amount of money you've spent on a sporting item or event?
The most amount.
Yeah, you've spent on a sporting item or event as an individual. Think about it. Yeah. I think the most I've spent on a sporting item or event might have been $375. There's a time I was getting a Celtics jersey. Some time back. It kind of pained me. And pained me is saying it loosely. like Chanuma. Like I really felt it. I sacrificed so many things. And for many people, they'll look at $300 and say, "There's no cent on you," which is true. It's small money, and yet I felt like I spent a lot. Yeah. How much have you guys spent that you look at and you're like, this was big money, either on an event, or a sporting item? Yeah. Sandra, I'll start with you.
I don't think I've ever spent $375
but how much
or anything.
Yeah.
Really, no, I don't think so. I buy jerseys all the time, but like they say, they're not. First of all, they're not original.
They are not.
They are not. No one here is selling original jerseys.
Those,
really?
Yeah, but they can be arranged at a cost.
You can get them. You can get them. But these online vendors and what, we love them and we buy from them. I think the most I've spent is like $150K on a jersey.
Yeah, but that's also hectic for the average Ugandan on a sports.
I guess so. That's but hectic, that's it. I haven't bought anything else extravagant.
Paul, how much have you spent?
Not a lot, but if I'm to spend money, of course I always go to where is it going.
Oh, okay.
So I've previously bought an SC Villa jersey at 70,000, but I knew, of course, I don't think it was worth it.
But you're like, this money is going to help.
I was buying it directly from the club.
So the cause,
it was going to the club. I've bought a Stanbic Black Pirates jersey at 150,000. Still, it was going to the club. So I wouldn't say like you nti Chanuma, nze techannuma nnyo kubanga nali mmanyi wadde nnyingi.
At least it's going to a good cause.
It is going to a good cause. But for an event, I don't think I've gone past emitwale tano.
Dexta, I don't think you've spent any money on it.
Are you sure?
I don't think you have.
I don't look like
not that, but most of the
events
you've been part of, either you're working, or so have you actually spent any money?
I've actually spent on a game that I didn't think I would spend money on.
Okay, where was it?
That's basketball.
Oh, really?
Afro basket.
Okay.
Yeah, I went to Rwanda. For those games because I wanted to get some content for. By then there was some guy I was working with. We needed content, so we are like, let us get, and it was around 1.3 or something. Hotel, transport. Yeah. Okay,
so when you mentioned that, I've spent quite a bit of money on basketball myself. Yeah. I've been to Kigali a number of times, either for ball or whatever.
Yeah.
But I never really look at it as, I don't know why it never really for me it never occurs that I'm spending, because I'm actually enjoying.
Yeah, it doesn't look like
it doesn't, because I'm having a good time. So for me it didn't really register.
The only time you think about the money
I'm enjoying
is when you didn't expect it.
Yeah. So as first of all, I want people out there to understand a couple of things about this podcast, right? It's hot and fresh and new, and there's a lot that's going to be happening on this podcast. If you're out there and you think you have some, you can sit here and answer some tough questions, feel free to get in touch. But I must insist, one, you must be able to express yourself. We don't want people who are going to come and just mama into the microphone or hum.
It could be a good mama.
What kind of mama?
That is subjective.
I'm not saying M-A-M-A. I'm saying...
I thought you meant that.
No.
That's what I thought.
No.
The good mama.
It could be a fine mama.
No, listen. Fine mamas, M-A-M-A, please feel free to come on, but you should be able to express yourself. But then also you should be the kind of person who enjoys sport. As you can see, these guys really love sport. They enjoy it, they live it, they breathe it. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly, you should be the kind of person who is willing to discuss, and whatever we discuss remains here.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, it will be viewed by the world out there, but we won't judge you. We won't look at you some type of way. No. We'll love you just the way you are. So if you are that kind of person, get in touch. And also, if you're watching this for the first time, this is the first episode anyway. Share, comment, and I don't know, tell your cousins, your brothers, your exes, your relatives. Tell them there's this new thing that's in town. Yeah, and it's going to be a wonderful thing. As we prepare to wind up, again, I must remind you guys that we are at Gardens Nigeria. They've been so gracious to have us. It's a very brilliant setup. It's a Friday, and there's Old School that's going to be playing later today.
Yeah.
And they've been, refilling our glasses. As I said, the lady who's been doing that is Sherry, very fine lady. If she could come around and say hi to the fans, yeah. I'm sure, yeah, there she comes. That's Sherry. She's been looking after us. And when you come here to Gardens, I can guarantee, first of all, there's Wi-Fi. It's pretty cool. They've got a very dope restaurant. They've got gardens where you can have an event and stuff like that. And they have a very, very brilliant bar. On Wednesdays, there's reggae. On Thursdays, there's rock. There's all these awesome things. On Tuesdays, there's quiz and karaoke. It's a beautiful establishment. Again, I must add, if you're coming to Nigeria Gardens from wherever, when you're driving your car, take your time. The road might not be too friendly. Yes, it's okay. Just buza ku bantu babuze ko mu Luganda oba mu Lungereza. Tell them.
Hi everyone, I'm called Sherry from Nigeria Gardens.
Yes.
Please come through, support us.
Absolutely.
We're always here.
Yeah.
To give you the good service and everything that you need.
There you go. So
Yeah.
that right
Everything,
there is Sherry.
right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Everything,
So, yeah,
everything.
make overdose, yeah.
Everything. Everything.
Dexta, listen. So Gardens Nigeria, guys make some time and come over here. And as I said, as we prepare to wind up, again, for those who are joining us for the first time, this is the Neutral Zone. You'll be hearing a lot more of us every now and again. We're going to run through the results. I want you to give me a result, right? I'll go one by one. I'll start with you. Southampton, Man United.
Southampton 1-0.
Paul, Brighton versus Ipswich.
Brighton 2-0.
Dexter, Crystal Palace, Leicester.
That's a draw.
That's a draw. Scoring draw? No score?
No scoring.
Okay. AJ, Fulham, West Ham.
West Ham 2-1.
Okay. Paul, Liverpool, Forest.
Over 3.5 for Liverpool.
So Liverpool wins. Okay. Dexter, Man City, Brentford.
Man City, of course.
Okay. AJ, Aston
With a
Villa,
hat-trick
Everton.
for Haaland.
Oh, hat-trick from Haaland, another hat-trick.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
bold.
it's a normal thing.
Okay,
for
so
him now.
FPL, you might triple captain Haaland if
Yeah,
you
of
haven't.
course.
Okay, AJ, Aston Villa, Everton.
By the Everton have lost all their games.
Yes.
So I guess they're winning. They're losing this one again.
They
Not
may
winning.
retire.
And that Villa Park.
They're
so.
not retiring. No, cha.
Yeah.
So 2-0.
Okay. Paul, Bournemouth, Chelsea.
Chelsea will win. It has numbers. I mean, in how many are in the dressing room? But yeah, they will win. 1-0.
Okay. Dexter, Spurs, Arsenal.
It's going to be a hard one, but Spurs will score in the 75 minutes.
Very specific. So Spurs to win 1-0, having scored in the 75th minute.
Yeah.
Will you be so kind as to tell us who will score?
I'm not certain, but it will be a defender or a midfielder.
What? So probably Pedro Porro.
Yeah, it
probably
will be
Pedro
a
Porro.
corner.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, cool. The good thing is we'll get back to this in the next pod. And finally, Wolves, Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Newcastle win.
Oh yeah, 2-0.
Maybe how we find that. Okay, cool, great. And that's it. I would like to thank you guys for making time to listen and watch the podcast. As we mentioned earlier on, this is the first of many. The hope is that the Neutral Zone gets into your zone and you get into our zone, and we kind of commune and be a part of this thing. Like, follow, comment, share, do all these things. That is Dexta. This is Oworugambo. Honorable Oworugambo.
Thank you.
This is AJ Sandra. My name is Beewol. Thank you very much. We are at Nigeria Gardens. Have a brilliant weekend, and we will see you next week. We are out.